The story of Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 is one of the most confusing and heartbreaking mysteries in the history of flying. On the 8th of March 2014, the Boeing 777-200ER took off from Kuala Lumpur International Airport, embarking on what was supposed to be a routine flight. It was destined for Beijing, China, a journey that should have taken about 6 hours. On board were 227 passengers and 12 crew members, all set for a journey that would sadly become a global puzzle. Less than an hour after takeoff, MH370 disappeared from radar screens, leaving air traffic controllers in shock and confusion. At 1:19 a.m. local time, the last words from the cockpit, a routine, "Good night Malaysian 370, were heard on the radio, marking the last known communication. Just minutes later, the transponder, a crucial device that shows where a plane is, stopped working, adding to the mystery. Whether it was turned off manually or malfunctioned, the silence of this important device meant that nobody knew where the plane was anymore. Unbeknownst to anyone, especially the anxious families waiting in Beijing, MH370 had veered sharply off its intended path. Military radar detected the plane as it flew westward across the Malay Peninsula and over the Strait of Malacca, a deviation that puzzled experts. This unexpected turn of events led to widespread speculation and initiated a desperate search operation. The search initially focused on the South China Sea, the last known location of the plane on civilian radar. But as days turned into weeks, the search area expanded dramatically, covering a vast expanse of the southeastern Indian Ocean, a testament to the relentless quest for answers. The first search for MH370 was incredibly challenging and complex, because there wasn't much information to go on. Since the transponder wasn't working and no distress signal was sent, investigators had to rely on limited data. They used radar, satellite information, and potential flight paths to make educated guesses about the plane's location. Initially, the search area was vast, but it shifted far west after new data suggested the plane flew for several hours after disappearing from conventional radar. The new search area was remote, the weather was unpredictable, and the underwater terrain was treacherous, making the search extremely difficult. Despite using advanced technology such as underwater robots and specialized sonar equipment, the search for MH370 was both frustrating and emotionally draining for everyone involved. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months, yet the search continued tirelessly. The families of the passengers and crew clung to hope, praying for any news about their loved ones. In July 2015, a significant breakthrough occurred when a piece of the plane's wing washed up on the shores of Reunion Island. This discovery, while heartbreaking, confirmed the tragic loss of the plane and its passengers. Because nobody knows for sure why MH370 disappeared, there are many theories and speculations that have emerged over the years. These ideas range from something breaking on the plane to the pilot making a mistake, or even more complex scenarios. Some theories suggest someone taking control of the plane, or even someone purposely damaging the plane to cause a disaster. One theory is that something big broke, like a sudden loss of air pressure or an electrical fire, which could have stopped the communication systems from working and hurt the crew, making it impossible to send a distress signal. Another theory is that the pilot may have crashed the plane on purpose, because the communication systems were turned off and the plane changed direction, which seems deliberate. Some people think someone took control of the plane, but nobody said they did it, and there's no clear reason why. So many people don't believe this. The lack of a clear motive makes this theory less convincing to some. Each theory tries to explain the little bit of evidence we have, but none of them are completely proven. The mystery remains unsolved, leaving room for endless speculation and investigation. The disappearance of MH370 brought countries together in a way that had never happened before. Governments from Malaysia, China, Australia, the United States, and other countries all worked together. The Australian Transport Safety Bureau led the search, using advanced underwater equipment and experts. Inmarsat, a British satellite company, helped narrow down the search area. By studying weak signals between the plane and one of its satellites, Inmarsat engineers figured out a possible flight path. Everyone working together showed how important airplane safety is and how these sad events affect the whole world. Even though the search didn't find the plane, it showed how clever, determined and hopeful people can be. Even after years of searching and investigating, the disappearance of MH370 is still one of aviation's biggest unsolved mysteries. Nobody knows why the plane went off course, why the communication systems stopped working, or where the plane crashed, and this makes people wonder and debate. There are lots of theories, each trying to make sense of the little evidence we have. Some think something broke, others think the pilot crashed the plane on purpose, or that someone damaged it. But none of these theories have been proven, making the mystery even bigger. The disappearance of MH370 shows how important it is to keep improving how we track planes and how they communicate. Besides all the technical details and unanswered questions, the disappearance of MH370 is a very sad and tragic story. The 227 passengers and 12 crew members were all different people, each with their own unique lives, dreams and families. There were families, business travelers and students on board that ill-fated flight. Their lives, which ended too soon, remind us that life is precious and that losing someone is very hard for those left behind. The families of the victims have been through something terrible, and not knowing what happened to their loved ones makes it even harder to bear. The disappearance of MH370 has left us with lots of questions and no real answers. Even though the official search stopped in 2017, families, investigators and people interested in aviation are still looking for answers. New technologies like advanced underwater robots and sonar give us hope that the plane might be found one day, but the search area is huge and it's hard to work in such a remote place. The disappearance of MH370 shows us that there are things we don't know and that some mysteries might never be solved. It also shows how important it is to make flying safer and for countries to work together when something like this happens.